Backlash coming up on Saturday in France, 1 p.m. Eastern start time. Pretty, I don't want to say a mid-card. I mean, all these matches are extremely predictable, so these predictions will not last long at all. But I do think these shows are largely carried by the crowds and the international atmosphere. They've had a lot of great ones so far under Triple H and under Nick Khan. This one should also be very fun. They have not been to France for a major pay-per-view PLE ever, to my knowledge, so this should be a good show. Only 5 matches, though. They might announce another one on SmackDown, but this is a mostly SmackDown card anyway. There's only one Raw match, and that's for the World Heavyweight Championship, so I guess I'll ask you about that one first. Damian Priest defending against Jey Uso. They really want you to think Jey Uso's a threat. He won that 6-man tag team match for his team on Raw, pinning Finn Balor. He is not winning that World Heavyweight Championship, but I don't know. Do you think Jey Uso could walk out the new World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Marceau?
Put the belt on him, baby! Put the belt on him! I mean, like I said, they're really like making you feel like he's gonna win, and I mean, I feel like they've done that multiple times. And he's lost every time. I just feel like, not that like, you know what it is? I just feel like he was dropped in the first round. Like we said, we don't really know what that's happening, like what that really means to them. I mean, when Cody left Raw, he was like, "Oh, you guys are in good hands." Like Jey Uso's like the top guy. Da 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 da. I mean, Priest has kind of been an afterthought since he won the belt. It's basically he won the belt, and it was basically all about Drew and Punk. I mean, and he won the belt, and he really hasn't done anything since. And I think with Jey, like if he doesn't win, like what do you do with him next? Like, I mean, I guess you eventually do something with the bloodline, I assume, but we're not like really there. And he's on Raw, and they're on SmackDown, so I really don't know if he lost, like what's next for him. What you do with him if he loses? So, like I said, I think Priest is kind of more of a stopgap guy than they really see him at that level. So I'm gonna go with Jey. Like I said, I think they're probably just teasing us, but with all the Judgment Day kerfluffle and they always keep getting egg on their face, I mean, I just feel like it could happen again on Saturday. Maybe McDonough or one of them tries to get involved. It kind of backfires on Priest. We see more cracks in the Judgment Day. And, yeah, I mean, they don't seem the same since Rhea's been gone. And this could kind of prove that they're just not on all cylinders. So I'm going to go with Jey. I'll crack the egg on my head after he loses. But I'm going with Jey.
Listen, dude, they have another pay-per-view 3 weeks later. They need to set up a rematch somehow for that show. I guess they could just crown another number 1 contender before King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia, but the pay-per-view's 3 weeks after this one. You might as well just keep the feud going. It's been a pretty basic feud so far, but you could really switch things up by putting the belt on Jey, if only for 3 weeks, and then put the belt on Damian. That is a lot of game of hot potato, but in that case, I'd be okay with it, because Jey Uso has not won shit. I mean, he won the tag titles with... I know he won at WrestleMania. I get that, but like won championships I'm talking about. Like he has not won much lately. He did hold the tag titles with Cody for 8 days, but in the last year he has failed to win the United States Championship, the WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship at least once or twice, not including this time. He's failed to win the Intercontinental Championship, lost the tag team titles. Like, the guy needs a title at some point, a lot like LA Knight, who also continues to lose championship opportunities. I don't think it happens here. I'm going to go Damian. I'm going the safe pick, but Jey Uso winning would make for an amazing reaction in France and really set up an interesting scenario. Like you said, with the Judgment Day kind of falling out and whatnot, them further teasing tension, how will that affect Rhea Ripley when she comes back? That might be the more intriguing outcome, but we'll see what happens on Saturday.
I just also feel like you said, like maybe he wins it here and then he loses back in the ring. Like every time he's lost the title shot, it's because he's got screwed. Like, the guy's been fucked out of them all. So it's like this guy's just the unluckiest son of a bitch in the world if he just loses another one. Like, if there's like Judgment Day interference again, like I don't know. Like you said, maybe we do get Judgment Day interference and he loses again and he gets a title shot at King of the Ring. And maybe, like you said, maybe you know what? Someone pulls out Damian, it's the hoodie, and it's Jimmy, and he helps his brother out at King of the Ring and helps his brother win the belt, and that's how we kind of get the start of the bloodline reforming. So maybe that's where we go from there, but, I mean, it makes cinema. People love that shit. Like I said, maybe his brother actually helps him. Who knows?
I'll do you one better. What if someone cost him the championship? Maybe the Judgment Day, it's not the Judgment Day. Maybe it's Jacob Fatu, because, a lot of people are expecting him on Saturday in the tag team match. What if it's not in that match, what if it's in this match, Jacob Fatu cost Jay the win, and then he demands Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce to be traded back to SmackDown to get his hands on the Bloodline. And that's how we get Jay back on the same show as the rest of the Bloodline. Because like you said, after this loss, I really don't know what you do with Jey Uso on Raw. So maybe he gets traded back to SmackDown by the end of the week, and that's very possible. He wouldn't win the World Heavyweight Championship, but I mean, there's a chance.
I guess. I don't love it, but I like him on his own for now. That's the thing. I like that he's away from everyone else.
Yeah.
If we're like bringing him back to SmackDown, he's just like in the whole...
Yeah. He would just be another Bloodline guy. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those things where they could definitely have him... I mean, they're going to have him involved in the Bloodline thing at some point. I just don't know if it happens here or if they just hold off until later on. But I still have Damian Priest going over, still World Heavyweight Champion. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill versus the Kabuki Warriors, WWE Women's Tag Team titles. I mean, we're almost guaranteed a title change here. Not just the fact they switch shows, because that doesn't really matter. The belts can obviously flow. I think Bianca and Jade losing at this point would be dumb. I know you said you want to see more from Jade. I agree. But I think you put the belts on them and you build the Jade and Bianca a little bit further down the road so we can get that match. But I think we get new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions on Saturday.
Oh, easily. I think this is Jade Bianca win LOL. I think it makes the most sense. You kind of pointed out that Jade probably needs a little bit more work. Put it with Bianca. They can hold the belts. You can still do like single feuds. Like, I don't know. They're facing a tag team. They can still do like one-on-one matches to kind of build that up. And obviously, I think eventually we'll get her and Bianca, which will be nice. So I think they should win the belts.
Yeah, I think so too. Bayley defending the WWE Women's Championship in a triple threat against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. I think this will be a good match. Tiffany's obviously shined so far in the main roster. Naomi is over, and Bayley's great, so I think this will be a fun time. Bayley just won the belt. Doesn't mean that she can't lose it right away, but I would not do that. I would keep the belt on Bayley, build the Bayley and Tiffany one-on-one at some point. I think Bayley retains the title here. What say you?
Naomi, just kidding. I think it's Bayley here. I'd love for it to be Tiffany. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think you should obviously keep the belt on Bayley a little bit longer as well. Should be a good match, but I got Bayley here. All
right. So we mentioned the Bloodline tag team match earlier. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa and the in-ring debut in WWE anyway, of Tama Tonga. This should be a good matchup. I like that they're continuing the Orton and KO, the RKO, so to speak, tag team from before WrestleMania. They're still on the same page, taking on common enemies in the Bloodline. I like that. This has got to be their introduction to Jacob Fatu, right? I mean, he might not be coming in right away. Maybe they hold off until fucking June because they really want to stretch this shit out. But I don't know, man. I feel like this is just a ready-made opportunity. I mean, I know I'm impatient. I just want to see him on the show. But I think this might be where he debuts and cost Orton and Owens the victory.
I thought he was costing Jey Uso the match.
He's going to do both. He's in Paris, or he's in Lyon, rather, so he'll do both.
Yeah, I mean, I think regardless of what happens, I mean, the Bloodline need to win, especially Solo. Guy was weeping about wins and losses, man. The guy hasn't won a match in fucking 6 months, so I think Solo and Tama Tonga win here. It could be a debut of some sort for Jacob Fatu. I think him, the janitor, anyone, they need to win badly, so I think they win. Orton and KO can eat a loss. It's not a big deal.
If I'm Kevin Owens, I want to get traded to Raw. Just because I'm done with the Bloodline. I've been feuding with them for 4 years now. I'm ready to move the fuck on. Doesn't look like that'll happen. But if I was him, I would want to get the fuck off the show. So maybe they could trade him off of SmackDown onto Raw for one of Raw's talents. I don't know who that would be, but just the thought. And then the main event, probably the most predictable match on the show, but I'm still looking forward to it. First time ever one-on-one. Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles for the Undisputed WWE Championship. Haven't really done a lot to sell you on the idea that AJ is going to win, but like I said earlier, they still have another pay-per-view in a couple of weeks after this one. They'll probably just continue the feud, I would have to imagine. I don't think they put the belt on AJ after Cody just beat Roman Reigns in one of the biggest matches ever. I don't think that happens. But I do think they go on there and have a really fun match, and I'm looking forward to this. So Cody Rhodes wins, LOL, but I think this will be a very good main event. So what do you think is going to happen?
AJ phenomenal form, 1, 2, 3. Just kidding.
What is Hell in a Cell 2016?
I mean, this is just. I mean, like I said, the predictability. I feel like that. Maybe that's another reason why I feel like there's a chance Jay could win, just because you feel like Priest will probably hold on to the belt. But I don't know. I feel like everything else is pretty predictable in no sense. So I'll go with, I think, obviously Cody. I mean, he just beat Roman Reigns, like you said, in one of the biggest matches of WrestleMania. Roman held the belt for 4 years. I doubt Cody's going to drop the belt a month later in Lyon, France. It's just not happening. So Cody wins. Maybe we continue the feud of King of the Ring. I don't really know why they have two pay-per-views so close to each other. I know the Saudi shows make them a lot of money, but maybe they should have booked better. I don't know.
I was going to say that it's because they have their July pay-per-view. Like last year, they had Money in the Bank in early July. And then it was the same weekend last year with the Saudi show. The same weekend as Backlash, too. They had 3 weeks in between Backlash in Puerto Rico and the Saudi show, which was at that point Night of Champions. They had only a couple weeks between those two, and then 6 weeks to build the Money in the Bank. That's not the case this year, actually, because they have Clash of the Castle, which I'm looking forward to in Scotland, but that's only 3 weeks after King of the Ring. So they have 3 weeks in between this pay-per-view and the next one, and then that one between that one, and then 3 weeks between that one and Money in the Bank in Toronto. So they have a lot of...
But then they have a month, between that and...
SummerSlam, yeah.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, so they have some time. But yeah, that's I don't know. They've done this before, but listen, I love the international stuff, but 3 weeks just is not enough time to build a lot of these storylines. I know it's an extra week, what's that going to do? But 4 weeks is more ideal than 3. I just feel like WrestleMania wasn't that long ago. I mean, that was definitely 4 weeks ago at this point, but I feel like even that wasn't that long ago, and that we're already here, I guess. But I don't know. We'll see if it takes the toll on the build of these shows, or if it doesn't end up making a difference because the shows are so good that it doesn't even really matter. So I'm hoping that's the case with this show. It looks like a fun show on paper, and I'm looking forward to it.